Good day, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Wildlife Archive. Today, I'm talking about probably the most dangerous animal in Africa. An animal that is responsible for a lot of human deaths and something that's not supposed to be messed with. So, yes, you've guessed it, the hippopotamus. Same as the animal that's in the intro video of this episode and of every episode. And I am going to show you and tell you a bit more about that specific video clip as well. So, yes, let's quickly talk about what I've just mentioned. Hippos in general are very, very territorial. So, if anything ever comes in between them and their territory, which is the water, there will be chaos. And they won't like that, obviously. And then if you come in between them and the territory, they will attack. How does a human being end up between a hippopotamus and their territory if hippos live in the water? So here's what happens. Hippos at night, or when it's cool and not very sunny, they come out of the water and they graze. They eat grass. So they graze and they will travel very far during the night to graze. And then early morning, when it gets light and the sun comes out, they need to head back to their territories, which is water, because during the middle of the day, it's very hot and they need to stay cool and moisturized. They have quite a sensitive skin, so they don't spend a lot of time outside of the water during the day. So then, when they approach the water and they come across somebody in between them and the water, that's where the problem starts. Now, how does a human end up in between them and the water? There's a lot of rural areas in Africa where people don't have running water and they have to go to rivers and big lakes and dams to go and fetch water. And that normally happens early morning when they go to get water for the day. And sometimes they encounter hippopotamus, and that's where a lot of kills take place, or a lot of attacks take place. I saw that there's a very high fatality percentage in kills in hippo attacks, and it's probably around 75% when I checked the last time. So that's one of the reasons why they're so dangerous, and they do attack boats as well sometimes, but we will get to that a little bit later. So that's one of the reasons why hippopotamus are rated as, one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. If the big five were not the big five and we had to replace it with one, it would probably be the hippo, because the big five got their name from the 5 most dangerous animals to encounter on foot by humans and also to go and hunt. It's a hunting term, and that's where it came from, the big 5. So yeah, guys, stay out of the path of a hippo, okay? So I want to quickly show you a couple of videos of hippopotamus that's yawning. That's what everyone will call them. So I'm going to show you a clip quickly. Watch the clip, and then we will chat about that clip in a minute. So the video you just saw is the exact same hippo as the one in the intro video. The only difference is this video I took in slow motion, so there was no sound with it, so that's why you don't hear anything. But this was a much bigger yawn than the one that you saw in the intro, which is in real time, and there was sound with it, which I thought was the perfect one to use for the intro. But why do hippos yawn? It really isn't a yawn. So that yawn that you see where they come out of the water, open their mouth, that's a display of dominance. It's a warning, and it's a warning to anything and anyone around them that could be a potential threat, whether it will be another bull hippopotamus, or whether it would be a human, sometimes even for elephants and rhinos or buffaloes that love to wallow in water. If that hippo's got his pond, he doesn't like anyone coming around or into the water. So sometimes when you stop next to a watering hole, which happened in this instance with this video, we just stopped next to a watering hole, and I was just filming mainly the terrapins lying on the back of the hippo. And then this particular hippo just decided to do his whole display of dominance. Now, a lot of people think, oh, it's very cute and he's tired, but that's definitely not it. That is a big, big sign to stay away. He doesn't like having you around. And yeah, that's the one thing that people miss. That's the one thing that a lot of people misunderstand when it comes to hippopotamus behavior, is that yawn or yawn. So mainly the yawn or the display of dominance will take place with males, but females also do that because females have to protect the young, and sometimes they will do the same, to protect the young. Or when there's females in the water and humans or any other animal comes too close, they will do exactly the same thing. So it's male and female that will do the whole display of dominance and purely to show their teeth, their weapons. Now, you'll see the thing that causes the most damage with a hippo when they attack each other is not really the four big canines, if that's the right term. Between the bottom two, there's two teeth that faces straight forward. Those are incisors, I think is the right word. I've forgotten all these terms, but those are the ones that cause real damage when they attack one another. So yeah, very, very dangerous weapons they have there in their mouths. So the following video I want to show you, I'm going to show you two videos now. These are not my videos. These are videos that I found on social media. I don't know who to credit for this, unfortunately. So just a disclaimer, these are not my videos, but I want to show you them because the first is a video of a hippopotamus attacking a vehicle on land. This has happened to me before on safari, plenty, but luckily I've gotten away every single time. But every time this happened, it was early mornings. So what I did normally, it happened the most on one specific road actually, when I entered Pabeni Gate at Kruger National Park. Just a few kilometers in, you get the S3 on the left-hand side, which we used to call River Road, and it runs all along the Sabi River towards the Paul Kruger Gate, which is a lovely road to drive. It's very scenic, especially early mornings. But sometimes, very early in the mornings, while we drive next to the river on the road, we find hippopotamus. And it's very dense. Suddenly, you won't be able to predict or even know this, but then suddenly a hippo will come out of the bush on the right-hand side when the river is on the left. And he would either cross in front of you or you wouldn't see him. And as soon as you are next to him, he'll start charging the vehicle. And then you just need to accelerate and get away. So this has happened to me a lot. I'm not sure what time of day this video happened with this hippo attacking this vehicle. But he unfortunately didn't get away and he picked up some damage. And now this following video is the real scary one. So first, have a look at this video and then we're going to chat about it. So this video, I mean, can you see how fast that hippo is moving in the water? So you're on a boat, you're fishing or sightseeing or whatever the case was for these people, and you can see the hippos casually just chilling there in their pod. And at some point, one bull probably decided to chase this boat. Now, here's the crazy part. even though hippopotamus live in the water, they don't swim. They cannot swim. So for them to move that fast in the water, they sink to the bottom and they run on the ground, and then they come up for air. So that hippo is running after that boat. That is scary. So there's a lot of videos, which I didn't want to show, but there's a lot of videos out there of hippos attacking boats, and a lot of people got injured. So that's another place where hippos actually attack. But yeah, just another disclaimer, both these videos I've just showed you, not my videos. But yeah, guys, the real reason I wanted to make this episode of Hippopotamus is because in my entire career of guiding and wildlife photography, if someone had to ask me, what are some of your favorite photos or sightings that you've taken, it would be this specific sighting. There's many others that I loved, but this one particular sighting it was just so special. And I think what I need to do first is show you the sequence of photos, and then I'm going to chat about the sighting and why it was special to me. And then I'll give you some photography details as well on camera settings and stuff that I used to capture this specific sighting. So here, I'm not sure how many photos there are, but it's a whole sequence that all took place within probably 10 or 15 seconds. So the camera was on continuous, and I just took all these photos. And I've chosen a couple of the sequence to show you guys. So have a look, and we'll chat just now. So yeah, guys, that was photos of two hippo bulls fighting. So here's what happened. If you're familiar with Kruger, you will know where the Biamiti Weir is. So the Biamiti Weir is in south of Kruger. It is a wall in the Biamiti River. And when you drive across this bridge, you actually go lower than the level of the water. That's obviously when the river is not in flood. And there's a whole bunch of water that gathered, and you will be almost eye level with the water. And I've always wondered what it would be like to take pictures of hippos yawning with their mouths open, but I never ever got the opportunity to do that. And I've spent hours and hours and hours at the Biamiti Weir. But this particular day, and there's always one hippo. I've never seen more than one hippo at the Biamiti Weir. It's always been one. Whether it was the same one every time, I don't know. But this particular day, I was on a game drive. I had guests with me. It was mid-morning. We've just had breakfast, and we came across the down the hill, and we were driving south. So the weir was on my right-hand side, or the water. And I saw two hippos in the water there. And I stopped. It was a very quiet morning in terms of traffic, so we didn't have any other vehicles around us. And I said to the guests, please be patient with me, because I think something epic is about to happen here. So I knew that this is potentially two bulls that might end up in a fight. And I said to the guests, just be patient. I started preparing the camera because that could literally happen at any moment. So I started preparing the camera. Camera settings were set to f-stop 8. I was on ISO 400, and my shutter speed was 1/2500th of a second. So a very fast shutter speed. And I think I was zoomed in at about 200 millimeters. So the reason for the f-stop is because I knew a lot of water was going to be splashing when these guys fight, and I wanted to also freeze the water mid-air in the photo. So I'm going to show you an image now, and I'll zoom in on it, and you will see that the water drops are actually frozen mid-air. So there's no motion blur or blurriness. So I knew exactly what to do to get the camera settings right, and I just had to wait for the right moment. And then we waited 45 minutes for something to happen. And as you saw, I actually missed the first moment it started, but I luckily got them as they started breaking the water. And then it was literally 20 seconds. The camera I used that time was a Nikon D500, and I think it could take 10 photos per second. And I had 60, 70 odd photos there of this fight. So 20 seconds is probably too long. But the reason this is such a special sighting to me is because the preparation that went into the photo, the anticipation, the patience, the waiting game, and the reward was absolutely epic. I remember I used to work for a company named Private Kruger Safaris back then. We did photographic safaris. And I remember when I got back to the office that afternoon, the first thing I said to Bernard, who's the owner of the company, I said to him, man, I think I've just taken some of the best photos of my life. And again, I'm not the best photographer out there, but this was for me such a special moment. So yeah, guys, so that was the main purpose of this episode, was to share that sighting, and then obviously a couple of videos that I've taken and a couple of photos, and I'm gonna share a couple more photos of hippos as we end the episode. But in general, hippopotamus, extremely dangerous. Not always the prettiest animal to see, but they can be very entertaining sometimes, and they also serve as a nice place to sit for animals. So in this video, you will see there's a grey heron flying at the Sunset Dam and is landing on a rock, and then this rock suddenly comes out of the water, and he's actually landed on the back of a hippo. And as you saw, I'm going to show the clip again, but as you saw in the intro video and the first video I showed you, a lot of terrapins also lie on the back of a hippopotamus, and they're also basking in the sun. So yeah, hippos are not always only mean. A lot of animals actually use them for some other stuff as well. So yeah guys, so I've pretty much covered everything I've wanted to cover in this episode, so I hope you enjoyed it. Stay out of the way of a hippo. And just a fun fact, a hippo can run 30 to 35 kilometers per hour. I heard somewhere that a hippo is actually the slowest of all the mammals, but they can run 35 kilometers per hour. So if you encounter a hippo on land, I don't think you're going to run away for it, because if I remember correctly, the fastest speed ever recorded by a human being running was Usain Bolt, and I think that was 36 or 37 kilometers per hour. So I don't think, unless you are Usain Bolt and in your prime, I don't think you're going to run away from a hippo. So be careful on foot when you're around lakes and rivers and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching the other episodes, and stay tuned for the following episode coming soon. Cheers.